If your business is only moving when you're moving, listen, you don't actually have a business. I hate to say it, you kind of have just a glorified job. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why working harder is essentially keeping you stuck. Oh, and if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to give you a really awesome framework that's going to show you how to easily delegate just one piece of low-hanging fruit right off of your plate almost immediately. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Emmanuel. I am the founder and kind of chief talking head guy of this cool little part of the internet. I also run a consulting agency specifically designed to help service provider founders and businesses grow and scale their business using systems. Now, I made this video because this particular topic is very near and dear to my heart. It is one of those places where I was stuck just in a hamster wheel, going in circles, not being able to really grow for years upon years upon years. Listen, I know the feeling. It's when you're waking up at 2 in the morning in a cold sweat, or constantly thinking about cash flow and money because you don't know how you're going to pay the bills, or maybe how you're going to pay your payroll or your team. Or maybe it's hopping into the shower and thinking about, oh my gosh, what content do I need to post today? What video do I need to record? Or maybe it's while you're driving and you're thinking about, oh man, I need to make it to my computer in time because I have a sales call scheduled and I can't be late. So I have this constant fight or flight and anxiety building up to every appointment that's booked on my calendar. But some real talk here. At the end of the day, there's always that feeling of, hey, you know what? I'm going to fix this. I need to fix this. I know I can fix this, but I'm so exhausted. You know what? I'm just going to fix it tomorrow. And the reality is tomorrow never comes because it's the exact same cycle all over again. Waking up in the middle of the night, thinking about money, then thinking about marketing, and then thinking about fulfillment, and then thinking about cash flow, and then thinking about sales. And by the end of the day, when you're really trying to focus on working on the business, guess what happens? You end up burning out. After many, many years of me just beating my head against the wall, I finally invested in some mentorship and some coaching. And over many, many more years, I learned a couple things, and I want to try to disseminate some of those key points into today's cool little video. Now, I want to start off by saying the unspoken truth out loud, which is if I stop working, the business stops working. Leads don't get followed up with, messages get unresponded to, and deals just get pushed forward to never be closed. Because I hate to say it, but potentially right now, there is no system. You're the system. And I know for a long time, I was the system. Now, the real problem here, it's not a lack of effort, it's not a lack of hustle, it's not a lack of consistency. It's really dependency. Everything is dependent on you. You are the bottleneck, my friend. Essentially, nothing moves unless you move it, and everything pauses if you decide to step away. So one of my many mentors broke this down for me, and I want to break it down with you so hopefully you can extract the knowledge the same way I did the first time I heard it, and I'll be honest, it kind of blew my mind. So check this out. This is called the task velocity bridge, and the way it works, or the way that you have to think about your business, is that it's made up of different rungs of income. And as you upgrade yourself to a new rung, there's a new level that you essentially have unlocked. And there's a new set of tasks that are required of you to execute on in order to make it to the next level up. So follow me on this. Let's say, for example, the first big rung many businesses have is trying to reach 10K months, right? Well, the reality is you, out of your sheer willpower and grit and hustle, are going to be able to do everything that is required to get you to a 10K month. That means all of the sales, all of the marketing, all of the fulfillment of the clients that you're potentially working with or the patients that you're working with. It's all on you, and you can actually do it because the business is still very small. It's still very manageable. Now, the next rung up is what I like to think is roughly around that 30K mark. Now, here's the thing about going from a 10K to a 30K month in revenue. It's that for the 10K stuff, we did it all ourselves. And many people get this part confused because they think that if they just double the effort, they'll be able to make it up to the next rung. So here's the honest truth. In order to make it to the next rung up of revenue, the reality is you don't double the effort. You actually you subtract effort, and you subtract essentially about 80% of the effort in order to make it up to that next rung. And if we go up to, 83K months, which are essentially our $1 million businesses, it's the exact same process. We essentially are removing tasks that we feel familiar with that have become a habit to us in order to get to that next level. The same thing happens at 3 million, and the same thing happens at 10 million or above. We simply need to make sure that we're constantly removing about 80% of our tasks and delegating to our team members in order to level up. All right, so check this out. There's actually a methodology to being able to remove yourself from the business. It's called the delegation ladder. You see, there is actually a very specific order that needs to be executed in order to delegate out that 80%. And this is essentially that order. It starts off by delegating out the admin work. Admin work is defined as responding to emails, managing your calendar, like simple stuff like that. And then from there, the next rung up is that we delegate fulfillment. Now, fulfillment is defined as you doing the work that you have promised your patients or your clients or your customers. They hired you to do a thing, so this is essentially you doing the thing. But the reality is you doing the thing is not revenue producing. So you need to try to remove yourself from doing the thing as quickly as possible. Moving on, the next rung up is marketing. Now, there's actually something really, really important that I need to mention about marketing. At the end of the day, people hire people. They don't hire logos, especially businesses that are still trying to ramp up and scale. So the truth is, you're not supposed to delegate yourself out of being the face of the business yet. Because at the end of the day, your face will always lead the business and the business brand will follow behind. It'll take a very long time for you to be able to replace yourself with the brand. But as of right now, just know that you cannot remove yourself from the business. People are going to hire you because of you, not because of the cool branding that you made for your website and your logo. So if that's the case, then the strategy here is not to replace you. The strategy is to systematize and delegate out the different processes that are required to have you show up to the marketplace. So if the example is that you need to record a YouTube video, then the strategy is how can I delegate the ideation, the outlining, and the initial scripting to somebody else so I can just jump in and record the YouTube video, and then I can have someone else do the editing and the actual publishing. Same thing goes for writing an email, or maybe splicing up some YouTube shorts, Instagram reels, or TikTok videos. At the end of the day, if you can delegate all of the ancillary pieces out to other team members or to AI and just have you show up to do the main piece, that is essentially an effective way to remove yourself or alleviate a lot of the marketing stress that is required of you while you grow the business. Anyways, the last little bit of this is sales. Sales is saved for the end because at the end of the day, you are the best closer of your business. And when you start bringing on closers, the close percentage starts to diminish. It takes a little while for salespeople or business advisors or closers to actually get to a KPI that's comparable to the founder or the owner. So we save sales for last because at the end of the day, we need to keep the cash flow coming in. And we need to build enough of a war chest to fulfill on hiring the people at the bottom parts of the ladder so that by the time we get up to sales, we can easily remove ourselves and there won't be that much of a hit to the bottom line or to our basic cash flow. So just a quick reminder, our job is to work our way up the ladder, not down. By the way, if you found some value in this video so far, really appreciate it if you could hit that like button, subscribe button, the bell icon, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much in advance. Okay, so in the beginning of the video, I did say that I want to leave you a little nugget to help you with delegation. By the way, the entire workbook that I've been going through in this entire video, you can grab it in the video description below so you can follow along. But the key here is that we need to identify what are maybe the admin tasks or the fulfillment tasks or the marketing tasks or the sales tasks that we're currently doing. So a cool little trick I like to use is there's a website called Toggle. I make no money from this recommendation, but I do use their free version of the app because it makes it very easy for me to log exactly what I'm doing. So I essentially set a timer for every 15 minutes, and whenever it goes off, I go into Toggle and then I just type out what exactly I was working on. By the way, quick pro tip here. I'm really bad at this timer 15-minute reminder thing. So many times I don't actually wait till the 15 minutes to jot down what I'm doing. What I actually do is I wait till the end of the day and just kind of fill in the blanks as much as I can. But hey, no one's perfect. So as I was saying, the idea is that we want to have a log of everything that we essentially do on a daily basis. And I usually do this for about 2 weeks to a month or so. I always love doing this at the beginning of every quarter. Now, once this is done, I have this nice long list of projects or tasks or activities that I have been working on. And I simply just need to ask myself, do I like doing this? Do I hate doing this? And does it fall in one of the categories of the ladder? If it does, then this is easily something that I need to delegate, because that's me removing some of that 80% so that I can start working on more higher revenue producing tasks in the future. And the way I delegate, it's real simple. I use a framework I call the 5-minute definition of done, or the 5-minute DOD. And so what I do is I look at the task and I kind of just go through these 6 boxes. So first of all, what's the name of the task? Let's say the name of the task is confirming appointments. So in my world, this happens every single day, because as you can see, it repeats every single day, week, month, year, quarter, 6 months. We need to make sure we add a cadence for that specific task. And it should be completed by, in my world, I always say 6 a.m. PST. Now, we move on to the next box. What resources or tools are we going to need? In my world, for appointment setting, there's really just 2 tools, or I should say 3 tools. The first one is my calendar. The second one is email. And in my world, when we're doing appointment confirmations, we're using a tool called Ring Central. So we can send out text messages. Now, the process is real simple. What does the definition of done look like? Well, this is where we lay out the SOP, which is, or the standard operating procedure, or what essentially I want this person to do to be able to execute on this. So step 1 is check calendar. Number 2 is identify all of the appointments that I have booked for the day. And then number 2 is send email. Now, as a heads up, I already have the emails templatized. So the person that's doing this, they can simply just look for the templated email and just find the email address and just hit send. And then step 3 is to send SMS. Now, I also have a templated text message that whenever my assistant needs to go in and confirm, they send out an email and then they find that person's number and then send out a text message. So what done looks like here is that the calendar has been checked, an email has been sent to all my appointments, and a text message has been sent to all of my appointments. If all of that is done, then we're good to go. And last but not least, we have to talk about how to get help and support, because at the end of the day, when we delegate stuff out, there's always going to be questions, especially early on. But here's the thing, the last thing you want to do is get bogged down answering all of these questions, because then that just starts sucking all your time. So we have to put a order to how we want our team members to communicate with us, where we become the last line of defense. So in my world, the first step is to check the video. Usually all of the definitions of done in my world have a Loom video of myself or a team member walking through how to do it. So check the video first. Number 2 is I always tell everyone to check Asana, which is our project management tool inside our world. Number 3 is I tell everyone to check Slack. The simple search on top of Slack can easily provide a bunch of answers for you or for my team members. Number 4 is ask a friend or a colleague, ask a peer. And then number 5 is ask me or ask E. So at the end of the day, there's a specific algorithm that every team member needs to go through in order to get a problem solved. Because listen, at the end of the day, your business can only grow as fast as you can. So the goal is simple. When you can get specific moments in the business running without you, well, hey, guess what? You finally have a business. By the way, if you really enjoyed this video, then I highly recommend that you check out this video here. It really breaks down the different steps that we take to approaching the sales funnel, how we look at automations, how we look at converting strangers into clients. Super valuable, and I'm pretty sure it'll help you get to a next rung of revenue for your business.